What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Planet Soccer Show. After a month-long hiatus, we are back. I'm Reed live from the surface of the fucking sun. It is 112 degrees here today in Fort Worth, Texas. Joined by my friend Dylan up in Michigan, where it's probably still hot but a little bit cooler. I would take it. I would take 80s. I would take 80s for sure. For sure. For sure.
It's beautiful weather.
Yeah.
Was out on the boat yesterday, did some wakeboarding. Like, weather up here is great. If I was at 112, I wouldn't leave my home. I know you
Oh my God,
you
dude.
drove to the office to record this because you're committed. I don't know if I would have done the same. 112 is damn hot.
I was sweating.
It's
I was sweating in here. And I'm like, God, is it just still so hot? And I go to the thermostat and it's off, so it's 81 degrees in the office. I crank that thing down to 65. So Jason, sorry about the electric bill. We're actually down to 99 degrees now, so it is down below 100. But for most of the day, it was well triple digits. Anyways, guys, like we hinted at the beginning, Dylan and I are back. A month-long break. I think it was a month. Kind of a combination of things. I've heard watching James, Lawrence Alcott, and some other football, soccer creators that towards the end of the season, you do just hit like a wall. And I know I specifically can relate to that.
I certainly did, especially after my trip.
Oh yeah,
and then we had I think you guys did too. Had the wedding shower, like.
Yeah,
you had the end of the season,
a ton of wedding stuff,
wedding shower, wedding planning. Like, yeah, a month. We recorded like one or two, but like a month off was much needed. I'm ready. I'm raring to go. I'm pumped. The transfer window is probably part of it for me.
Yeah.
As a Newcastle fan, but I'm ready. I'm excited to let this thing explode this year.
For sure, yeah, we're excited to go. We're going to try to up the production quality. Be consistent with videos. Dylan's going to get on the editing a little bit, so that's exciting. Dylan, our first full year end was 60 plus episodes, 152 subscribers, over 500 hours of viewing content, and we're going to get back on Spotify. We're going to do it. We're going to get back on Spotify.
And Spotify be damned. I love Spotify. I have family that is a little on the older side that are like, hey, when are you coming back to Spotify? And I know for us, like for the last year, it was like, let's just get back into a groove. Let's figure out what our niche is. Let's figure out our flow. And I think we did a really great job with that at the end of last season.
Yeah.
So this season, I'm really excited to see us expand both on YouTube. Obviously, that's our main platform because people love looking at our beautiful faces.
Especially
and then
me. Especially me, man. God, look. I mean,
yeah, you had that haircut. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Shout out to Jesse Cuts. Shout out to Jesse Cuts.
I'm pumped to get back into it. It's
for sure.
I've been itching to talk some football, and
it's weird not having the Premier League every week. I'm getting kind of sick of it. I miss not waking. I
literally thought today I was watching the Cubs and the Cardinals in England this morning because, like, hey, what am I going to do at Sunday at 10 a.m.? I'm going to watch
a British sporting event.
I guess. Yep. Like, hey, and so here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Certainly ready. Certainly ready for real football to start. We had some fun USMNT stuff happen in the last month, but Gold Cup is now below us. So I'm excited to talk some real football.
Yeah, the transfer market's like the bread and butter for content creators, soccer content creators. And we will get into that for sure, the summer of the tune. However, what has happened over the last month since we've been gone? Well, a lot. I feel like we missed probably thousands of views by taking this month off, but that's okay. Starting off, City treble. First treble since 99, is that right? 99, 2000?
Yes.
Or 98, 99. One of the two is Man U's treble.
99.
Yep. Dylan, quick hitter on City's treble. What does it mean? And yeah, what are your thoughts?
It means Pep is the best manager in the last 10 years. I'm ready to say that. I've been ready to say that, but now I have like some hardware, some trophies to to really truly
Yep.
back that up.
And by the way, we're going to do an
And-
episode after this on the City Trouble where we deep dive into it. So don't worry. Like, if y'all feel like we don't talk about it enough, that's intentional. So sorry, Dylan, continue.
I have infinite thoughts on the City Trouble. There's a lot of ways to break it down. I think at the end of the day, for me, I am happy for, as weird as this is, as a Prem fan, I'm happy for the City fans.
Yeah.
City fans, for the most part, don't deserve a lot of the flack that's given. Pep's sure as hell does not deserve a lot of the flack that's given. Like it was a very, very beautiful performance from Pep and the players, and that's what I want to really try and focus on moving forward. Is yes, we'll talk about in our City episode, the fines, the penalties that are certainly coming City's way, but right now for me the performance City had the last like 3 months or so of the season between the Prem and between here in the Champions League, like it was a beautiful performance from City, and it was a masterclass from Pep. And that's really my biggest takeaway is Pep has solidified himself as I'll say it. He's the best manager of his generation, bar none.
Yeah.
Like it's really not close. When you look at actually his generation, like you can argue the Klopp Treb push, and like you can argue a lot.
At the end of the day, they only won the League Cup though in that Treb push.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And there were certainly been some beautiful performances by Liverpool in 3 or 4 competitions at a time outside of that Treb push last year. But Pep got it done. Pep is the best manager I have seen outside of Sir Alex Ferguson.
No. Pep's the best in this era in 2023 to win a treble.
Yeah.
I'm saying like Pep would have dominated, I think, in Alex's era. Like, I just think it wasn't as difficult back then. Like, it's so hard to win the Premier League and the Champions League. Like, that's why City had never done that before. No, do you disagree?
My only argument is it was harder to win the Premier League when Man U won it. It was. It was a more condensed competition. Like when you were playing the 15th team in the table, it was a dogfight, and it's not anymore. So winning the Premier League,
it was a pretty decent dogfight. I mean, Arsenal fell off at the end, obviously, but I mean, City didn't.
But that's the thing. It took an arguable bottle job for City because like Arsenal was running away with it, and then it was an Arsenal bottle, arguably, that gave City the Premier. And don't get me wrong, the other 2 trophies, 100% full credit, 150% to Man City, but that Premier League, like there's still that like, did Arsenal bottle it? Did City control it? Like there is an argument you can have there, and I think that's a similar situation to what we saw with Man United in the past, where there was a trophy or 2 that was like they kind of backed into it, and in a way, City kind of backed into that Premier League title at the end of it. 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I would have sounded like an ass saying that, but like Arsenal blew it to an extent.
Partially because City walked all over them in that head-to-head game. So, I mean, they did earn it in a way, but the draw at Southampton was a huge blow to Arsenal. We'll talk more about all this in the next episode. Dylan, I want to move on to your tunes, your Newcastle, your boys, the Fighting Eddie Howe's making the Champions League. First time in a while.
Yeah.
Quick hitter on it.
5.
Yep.
It feels great. I've said numerous times for our repeat listeners that it is probably a little soon.
I'd say it's a year soon.
I'm a little like, don't get me wrong, I was rooting for Champions League. Any Newcastle fan that says they weren't is lying to you, but I was rooting for it. But I do think it may have been a year too soon, and we'll see how it plays out. I think thus far, and we'll dive into this as the summer goes on, the start to the summer, allegedly, it's not been officially announced, but the start to the summer for Newcastle has been great. But I am a little skeptical about how quickly Newcastle, as much as I love Eddie Howe and the squad we have, can adapt to the Champions League. So don't get ecstatic, through the moon. Huge fan of qualifying when we qualified, but there is a little bit of long-term concern. Have we possibly grown too fast? Are we expanding too fast? Are we spending too fast to really sustain anything? But then you look at Chelsea, and apparently you can get away with everything. So maybe we're fine.
Speaking of Newcastle and everything that goes on with them, there is a Saudi invasion of Europe going on right now. A lot of it is the older players, the older expensive players at Chelsea who are on inflated contracts are moving over to the Saudi league. There's also obviously Karim Benzema. I was about to say Conte, but he's a Chelsea player. There are a lot of guys rumored to go play in the Saudi league for big money. Dylan, this is a whole hour-long episode on its own, but as a Newcastle fan, you're watching this Saudi thing going, what? What are you thinking? In 30 seconds.
All right. I'm terrified. Well, like one word to describe, I'm terrified for two reasons. For one, and the main one, because I do believe in PIF still at Newcastle, really spending money to be a legitimate Premier League European contender. But I'm a little scared about the possibilities of us trying to Chelsea this and find our way around the rules to loan guys out that are bought by the Saudi teams. Like that has been rumored by unofficial accounts, but
I'm going to go ahead and let me interject here and say I'm putting a bookmark for our audience and us on that loaning process because we're going to talk about that because it's a huge deal and a massive loophole that would absolutely ruin
ruin.
It
would ruin football.
It'd be fucked up, like really fucked up.
It would ruin football. Yeah. I hate it. Like don't give me.
If y'all get Benzema on loan for the last push of the season, like
I'd love to just walk into the Champions League and make a semifinal or make a final in our first year. Like I'd be lying if I said that wouldn't be fun. But like at the same time, there's a lot of talk in the Newcastle fan base of like we want to do it the right way, not only like to not hit those penalties or regulations that UEFA has said they're going to levy or Premier League has said they're going to levy, but I just want to experience like a real push.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go like that PSG route where it's like here's $500 million every 3 summers and we're going to be an elite champion. Like I don't want that as a fan.
Turn on financial takeover on FIFA.
It sounds, like that's not fun. Like we've all done it. We've all done the financial takeover on FIFA or Football Manager, and you play a year and you're like, I'm over it.
Let's do it for real now.
That as a new cat. I don't want to I'm over it after a year as a new cat. Like I want to build the right.
You want like a City type of rebuild. Like City's been doing it over a decade. They built up the academy to be one of the best in the world. Like front office is amazing. You want to do like we as Americans. I have a lot of thoughts about the parallels between a soccer rebuild and an American franchise rebuild, and there are huge differences across the board.
Yeah.
You guys are trending more towards the soccer rebuild right now when honestly it's more satisfying to have like the American style rebuild. Like you see the pieces being put into place. And if you guys just spend in 3 windows and then you're there, it's like, okay, now everybody hates us. We're winning. Like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that might be a hot take as a Newcastle fan, but overall the whole outlook of Saudi, I know we said we're going to try and condense this. The whole outlook on Saudi does scare me. Not only for Newcastle, but really for the sport as a whole. Like Messi, for example. Messi could have gone, like there were a lot of clubs that would have offered Messi significant 10 years ago, significant financial reasons to sign with their club. He had 2 options. It was either the US where he gets half of Apple, not actually, but like
pretty much.
or Saudi Arabia where he gets hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
They probably would have given him stake in the fund, honestly. Like they probably would have made him some sheik or something.
I didn't like hear that, but like it would not, like they were throwing around, like because we saw him in April or whatever it was. He left during a PSG international window and didn't come back early enough because he was over in Saudi Arabia. So like that part of this whole Saudi Arabia, Middle East, to less specify it because Qatar is now getting involved again.
Yeah.
now in the Premier League. Like it is a little scary to see. Like I don't want too many guys just playing just for money. And like there's been that whole mercenary thing in the past, and that was a thing Newcastle dealt with in the late 2000 to 2010 range. And you don't want those mercenaries like ruining the game of football. And we're almost seeing it. Like it, if we're not already seeing it, like, but luckily so far the guys we're seeing move on to those Saudi contracts or those MLS contracts for the most part are guys that are past their prime, like
or injury prone. Like Conte at his best and Benzema at his best are still world class, but are they going to stay on the field? I get what you're saying. We'll do a whole.
It's a little scary.
It is, yeah. We'll do a whole episode on it, probably multiple. Two more just quick hitters. Dylan, I'm not even going to give you a chance to respond because I'm just going to mention them. We're going to do a whole episode on the U.S. men's national team, the best team in the world, the front runners for the 2026 World Cup championship. And then Spurs. My Spurs have a new head coach, Big Ange. So we're going to talk about that in depth. That's what's to come. Some other things that are to come. We're going to try to get more interviews. We want to do interviews of people we know, people we don't know. We're going to reach out. We're going to try to become more legit journalists here in season 2 of the Planet Soccer Show. More Nick. You guys are going to get more Nick. Sorry or congratulations, however you feel about that.
Congratulations. There's no sorry about it. It's a great insight.
We're also going to try to go for less recap-y stuff and more of like our original thoughts, because those are the videos that do the best for us, and I think those are the ones that are more fun, like the Wrexham video. The Aston Villa video was a recap, but like it was off the cuff and it was fun. So we're going to do more of that, and then like I mentioned, Dylan is going to produce some. So that's going to be exciting. I will definitely be able to tell which episode is edited by me and which is edited by Dylan.
Hey, drop it in the comments. Do you think it's a Reed edit or do you think it's a Dylan edit?
Follow us on Twitter. We'll put out a poll after every episode, and you guys can guess. So we're very excited for season 2 here on the Planet Soccer Show. We appreciate you guys so much listening. As always, this is so much fun for us. It's no more than a hobby that we take seriously. So we really do enjoy this. We're going to enjoy season 2 even more than season 1. Dylan, I look at the first episode of this season and our first episode that we ever did, and there's such a huge difference. We're so much better. So I'm excited to get going. We appreciate you guys watching. As always, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, duet, stitch, and whatever else I missed. We'll talk to y'all later. To you.